What happens when two of the world's most powerful men quietly target a system that 70 million Americans depend on? Today, we're exposing how Donald Trump and Elon Musk's recent moves could leave millions of elderly and disabled Americans in crisis. In this video, you'll discover the shocking details behind the planned closures of 47 Social Security offices, the 12% workforce reduction, and how these actions could dramatically impact benefits processing time. You'll learn about the misleading claims being used to justify these cuts and what experts predict will happen if these plans continue. Stay with us to understand what these changes mean for your future security, the hidden political strategy behind these moves, and most importantly, what you can do to protect this vital program before it's too late. Welcome to Financial Area, where we break down complex economic issues that affect your daily life. If you find this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed about the financial decisions that impact us all. The Social Security Administration serves as a lifeline for 70 million Americans, delivering retirement, disability, and survivor benefits that many cannot live without. But this critical institution now faces an unprecedented threat. Recently unveiled plans show the Trump administration, working alongside Elon Musk's government efficiency initiative, intends to shut down 47 Social Security field offices nationwide and slash the agency's workforce by a staggering 12%. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. Each closed office represents thousands of Americans who will need to travel further, wait longer, and navigate increasingly complex systems to access the benefits they've earned through decades of work. The 47 targeted offices span rural communities and urban centers alike, with particular concentration in regions already struggling with poverty and limited internet access. The workforce reduction translates to approximately 8,000 fewer employees processing claims, answering questions, and resolving issues. Internal documents show implementation could begin as early as next month, with complete rollout expected within the year. Elon Musk's involvement stems from his appointment to lead a government efficiency task force, where he specifically identified the Social Security Administration as what he called bloated bureaucracy, ripe for disruption. The recommendations from Musk's team were quickly adopted by the administration, despite warnings from career officials about the potential consequences. This strategy isn't without precedent. For decades, certain political interests have attempted to weaken public programs by first reducing their funding, then pointing to the resulting inefficiencies as proof the program doesn't work. Political analysts call this the starve the beast approach: first break a system, then declare it broken. The justification for these dramatic cuts rests on claims that simply don't hold up to scrutiny. Both Trump and Musk have repeatedly described the Social Security Administration as wasteful, inefficient, and fraud-ridden. Let's examine these claims against the facts. First, regarding inefficiency. The Social Security Administration operates with administrative costs of just 0.7% of benefits paid. That's an efficiency rate that would be the envy of any private financial institution. For comparison, private retirement plans typically have administrative costs between 5% and 20%. When we look at the actual numbers, the SSA emerges as remarkably lean, not bloated. The claim about waste revolves around what Trump called hundreds of thousands of people over 100 years old collecting benefits. This statement fundamentally misrepresents reality. A recent Inspector General report found that while the SSA database does contain records of approximately 6,500 individuals listed as over 100 years old, only a fraction of these individuals are actively collecting benefits. Most represent record-keeping anomalies from the early days of Social Security, before digital record-keeping, and before Social Security numbers were commonly used as identification. The vast majority of these cases have been flagged and suspended pending verification, with no payments being made. The remaining active cases represent genuine centenarians with verified identities, something that's becoming increasingly common as life expectancy increases. As for fraud, the Social Security Administration's actual fraud rate is estimated at less than 1% of all benefits paid, lower than most government programs and significantly lower than private insurance fraud rates. Most concerning is that the proposed cuts would eliminate positions specifically dedicated to fraud prevention and detection, potentially increasing rather than decreasing fraudulent claims. Independent fact-checking organizations have rated these claims about SSA waste as mostly false or misleading, noting they rely on outdated information and mischaracterization of normal record-keeping processes. Let's get to the heart of what these cuts would mean for real Americans. Currently, the average wait time for an initial disability decision is 6.1 months. For those denied who file appeals, the wait for a hearing averages 15.5 months. These aren't just inconvenient delays, they're life-altering waits during which applicants often have no income, deplete savings, lose homes, and go without necessary medical care. According to internal agency projections leaked by concerned employees, the planned cuts would increase initial wait times to approximately 9 months and hearing waits to over 24 months. A study published in the Health Affairs Journal found that for every 10,000 disability applicants who wait 1 year for approval, about 44 die before receiving their first benefit. Extrapolating from these numbers, experts estimate the proposed cuts could result in thousands of additional deaths among those waiting for benefits. Barbara Jenkins, a former regional commissioner for the Social Security Administration, put it bluntly, "These aren't just statistics. These are elderly people who worked their whole lives and now can't get their retirement benefits processed. These are disabled individuals who can't work and are losing their homes while waiting for a decision. These are widows and orphans of deceased workers being forced into poverty, while their survivor benefits are stuck in the system." The political ramifications of these moves could be significant. Despite persistent attempts to frame Social Security as unsustainable or problematic, polling consistently shows that Americans across the political spectrum support the program. A recent Gallup survey found that 85% of Americans, including 81% of Republican voters, oppose cuts to Social Security benefits or access. Even more striking, 72% of respondents indicated they would be less likely to vote for a candidate who supported reducing Social Security services. This suggests that beyond the human cost, there could be a substantial political price to pay for these actions. So, what can be done? First, contact your representatives in Congress. Tell them specifically that you oppose the closure of Social Security offices and workforce reductions. Reference the plan to close 47 offices and cut 12% of staff, and explain how these cuts would affect you or your community. Organizations like the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare are actively monitoring these developments and providing resources for concerned citizens. Their website offers tools to contact representatives and join advocacy efforts. History shows that public pressure works. Previous attempts to drastically alter Social Security have been abandoned when faced with overwhelming constituent response. Your voice matters, especially when joined with others. As we've seen throughout this video, the actions being taken against Social Security aren't just policy disagreements. They represent a fundamental threat to a system that millions of Americans rely on for basic survival. Whatever your political affiliations, the protection of this vital safety net deserves your attention and action. Thank you for watching Financial Area. If you found this information valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. By staying informed, we can all work to protect the financial security that every American deserves.